What's up, military millionaires? Today I want to give you some actionable steps that you can do right now to get started on your real estate investing journey. Right after this pause to give you time to subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified of more incredible content. Take action. Nothing, literally nothing you read matters if you fail to take action. I'm not going to run around screaming at you to take massive action and take immediate action. I am, however, going to show you some actionable steps that you can take to move you closer and closer to pulling the trigger on an investment property. Again, none of this information will matter if you fail to actually take the action, so pay attention and then go do these. Number one, choose a market. Now, I could dig into millions of different ways to analyze a market, but the bottom line is that you need to choose something that you're comfortable with. A couple of really quick pointers. I like to see 1% growth in population over the last few years. I like to see diversified economies, so multiple industries. Think Detroit, they all had auto, it went away, so multiple different economy, companies, right? Manufacturing, medical, education, tech, auto, whatever it is. Also, if you've narrowed it down to like 5 or 10, markets in the whole nation and you just can't figure it out, stop stressing. Throw a dart at the map, pick whichever one of those 5 it comes closest to, ta-da. If you narrowed it down to 5 out of, the whole nation, they're probably all fine. Number 2, build your team. Now, I've made some videos about this and some articles as well, but you need to find a realtor, a property manager, lender, contractor, maybe a CPA, maybe a lawyer. Just build those teams, those referrals. Get with professionals who can help you out. Number 3, look for deals. First way to do this is the multiple listing service, MLS. And I recommend that you do some research and find a solid real estate agent and then have this agent set up an automatic MLS search to find a property that meets your criteria. Once you set this up, it will automatically email you properties to you as they come on the market. Now, admittedly, the MLS will not generally have the best deals, but it's easy to use and it's a great place to start. I have found some great properties this way. B, or number 2, driving for dollars is another tactic to find deals. And it can easily fit into your schedule. The easiest way to do this is to take different routes to and from work or on your commute or running errands. And the goal of driving for dollars is to learn the neighborhoods. In this way, you can be familiar with which neighborhoods and areas are growing and which are kind of falling apart. You want to keep your eyes peeled for the ugliest houses in nice or growing neighborhoods. Then you take down the address of any house that has some promise, and you can send them a letter to mention your interest in the property. You do that with the next thing, number 3, direct mail, which is the process of sending letters to property owners and asking if they're interested in selling. Now, this is a great method to reach a lot of people with minimal effort, and I purchase my lists from ListSource because there's no limit to how specific you want to make the list. A couple of things, it takes more time, but handwriting these letters will have a much better response rate, roughly 18.75% versus 7% in my personal experience. Now, my rule of thumb is to handwrite letters if I'm targeting specific houses, but for larger mail outs, I print just to save time because handwriting letters is really, really painful. I even have a friend who had a whole bunch of people in his basement and he was feeding them monsters and pizza over the weekend to handwrite letters. Still couldn't keep up with demand. Whether you handwrite or print, you need to always do these 3 things to improve the response rate. The first is sign the letter. This will show that you still handled all of the letters instead of just clicking print. Number 2, always, and I mean always, hand address the to address on the envelope. This will increase the number of letters that get opened because it looks like it was handwritten from someone instead of just big box store printed. You could insert a photo and or a business card into this envelope, which builds some credibility, pulls on the heartstrings, tells a little bit of a story, which can never hurt you. Oh, and I lied, there's a 4th one. Always click the thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Please? It really does help YouTube out with making my video more popular. Woo! Number 4, networking. Referrals are a great way to get the best real estate investments. The key to good referrals is to ensure that you build your network. and I've talked about this a million times, as you meet more investors, you will be introduced to wholesalers, flippers, buy and hold investors, agents, and just a myriad of other people. Putting your feelers out there for real estate and building a community full of people doing the same will have very positive effects. I have found that the real estate investment community is full of helpful people, and deals are always getting offered back and forth based on criteria and availability. Some people can't, they're just so busy they can't take on a project even if it's incredible. And if your name comes to mind, boom. Number 5, talking about what you're looking for. Everybody needs to know that you're into real estate investing. You want to be the first person that pops in someone's mind when they hear that somebody has a home to sell. Don't be afraid to talk about your hobby of investing in real estate with everyone you encounter. Maybe even annoy them about it, but at least they'll know about you. Number 6, bandit signs. Have you ever seen those yellow signs running around town that just say like, we buy houses in Sharpie, or sell your house fast, or call this cash offer? These are called bandit signs because a lot of cities have outlawed them or passed ordinance to ban them. I've not personally used them, but I've known several investors that had a lot of luck with them. The key is to keep the message short and loud. Remember, people are in their car, so they're not going to be just like, oh yeah, let me slow down, and like maybe on a street corner is probably the best bet. Or it's not illegal if it's in the front yard of your property in most places, so that's a good way. 7, Facebook ads and Google AdWords. The marketing and advertising world has changed so much in the last decade, and these changes have made it possible to write Facebook ads that directly target your specific city or zip code. Instead of a bandit sign, you could write a Facebook ad saying, we want to buy your house in Springfield, Missouri, and blast it to every Facebook user in that area. Now, this might cost a little bit more, but it is an effective method to reach people. Google AdWords even allows you to research words and phrases that are commonly searched for on the internet, and as a result, you can write an advertisement that will show up on the keywords that best meet your needs. Google is used for a lot of online searches, and there aren't many better ways to get in front of your niche than keyword advertising. Now, the next thing you got to do after finding your deal is get pot committed. Buying your first real estate investment can be a little intimidating. You need to take little steps to get more and more pot committed in order to pull you towards your goal. This is one of the reasons being in a mastermind group is so powerful. The people in your group will challenge you to outline the most important next steps, and then they will hold you accountable for doing it. For example, the members of our War Room Real Estate Mastermind group have achieved massive success this year, and that is just one of the reasons that they have. If that's something that interests you, let me know. If not, keep on listening because we got more value coming. The first step to getting pot committed is writing offers. Now, you need to analyze enough deals that you begin to understand what makes a good deal and what makes a bad deal or just an okay deal. Once you understand this, you need to start writing offers. The old adage is that no more than 1 or 2 out of every 10 offers you write should get accepted. If more than this are accepted, you're probably offering too much money. That being said, find some deals that make sense and then write offers on them. This will get you committed to the next steps and digging into the due diligence on a property. Remember, writing an offer doesn't mean that you're trapped in the deal. If you find something during due diligence period that doesn't add up, you can always renegotiate or break the contract. Think of this like asking friends to run a marathon with you in 3 months. The majority of them will say no. But if somebody says yes, you are now pot committed to training and making it happen. Now, if you get injured or your friend bails, maybe you don't have to run the marathon, but if all goes well, you will achieve your goal. And you may never have done that if you hadn't got someone involved to help keep you pot committed. After getting pot committed with writing an offer, you need to work on financing. The moment you have a property under contract, reach out to the lenders that you built relationships with earlier and get the financing process started. In a perfect world, you should already be pre-approved for a loan or have the money figured out and everything good. But regardless, pick up the phone, reach out to your lenders, and get the ball moving to get your financing approved to purchase the property. Financing can be one of the bigger reasons that deals fall through, so definitely figure that out ahead of time. Also, ensure that your lender schedules the appraisal for the property as soon as possible, because that'll help you out. After your financing is in check, the due diligence period starts, or well, it's already started, but you need to get with your realtor immediately and schedule a home inspection. This is the most important piece in conducting your due diligence. You also need to validate utilities reports for the last year, property tax data, trash expenses, and any other services associated with the property. Have your insurance agent give you quotes for homeowners insurance, and definitely don't be afraid to shop around. I used USAA for years, but at the time they didn't insure commercial properties. Now I got several quotes and finally settled on State Farm for my 10 unit. Out of curiosity, I asked them to give me a quote for my other properties too, and it ended up being cheaper for me to move all of my real estate to the new insurance agent. If possible, you should have your property manager walk through with the home inspector. This gives them insight into exactly what needs to be repaired, and the inspector may even give them some pointers or cheap fixes. This is also a good time for your property manager to get a copy of every lease or pass out estoppel agreements, which is something that tenants fill out to validate leases, in order to validate the rental terms with all tenants. Whether your property manager walks through with the inspector or not, you will still want them to review the leases, or you can review the leases for every tenant. Trust me, I've had some weird stories about tenants lying and stuff and old owners. The next thing you want to do is improve operations. Put an emphasis on slashing expenses the moment you take ownership of the property. If you can save $100 a month by switching to a dumpster instead of individual cans, that's a huge win. Cutting $100 a month from your expenses is money that you get to keep even if the unit is vacant. When you increase the rent by $100 a month, that is great, but you don't get any benefit from that when the unit is vacant. You should also improve your income and cut your expenses simultaneously as fast as possible after closing on the property. Just don't fall in the trap of getting so wrapped up around income that you forget to focus on your expenses. Now, you could also partner on this, which is if you have time and knowledge but no money, find a partner with capital and work together. When you boil it all down, there's 3 things you need in order to be a successful real estate investor: time, knowledge, and money. If you can form a partnership with someone who complements the areas that you're lacking, that will drastically improve your ability to scale and become a real estate investment powerhouse. That being said, don't partner with just anybody. You need to know and trust your partner. Ensure that you guys are on the same page and agree to terms for making decisions and dissolving the partnership before making things official. That way, if things don't go as planned, which can happen, you've made decisions about how to resolve it before emotions get in the way and things go south. The next action step for you to take is to fire for effect, or repeat for civilians, but already guys, hey, congratulations on achieving your first big success. Now keep it up. Repeating these actions until you have mastered the real estate investing game is a trademark of successful people. Repetition really helps you master a task, and you need to practice these skills continually in order to improve. The book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hour rule. This rule states that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master in any task. Now, I'm a big fan of this book and the examples the author uses to validate his point, but if you take nothing else away from this book, you should note that the more you practice, the better you'll get. Next up is improve. You need to get 1% better. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy explains how little steps towards improvement every day will compound into massive success. Now, you don't have to make drastic changes to your life, just focus on improving a little bit every day. Just don't ever stop improving. Make small tweaks in order to consistently get better. Most important next step. The trick to supercharging your productivity is to identify the most important next step, or MINS, to achieving your goal, and then do it. If your goal is to buy your first rental property, your MINS might be for finding a realtor. In order to find a realtor, you may determine that your most important next step is to ask 3 successful real estate investors for a referral. Now that you've gotten your referrals, the next step may be to interview these agents and determine who the best fit is for you. If you knock out your MINS first thing in the morning, no matter what happens that day, you will have moved the needle at least a little bit forward. That is how you supercharge your success. Now you need to maintain momentum too. Now that you have a little momentum under you, don't stop. Keep the momentum building and continue to find deals, write offers, and purchase solid real estate investments. In a few years, you'll probably look back at where you are and wonder, how the hell did I get here? That answer looks a little different for everybody, but the answer, in my opinion, generally boils down to learning, networking, and taking action repetitively and persistently. Don't quit. Now make sure you're setting goals that pull you forward. An example I like to use is how I've gotten myself into triathlons and other crazy physical activities. Like I mentioned earlier, I would ask 2 or 3 people at work, yeah, you want to run an Olympic distance triathlon with me next week? And most of them said no. Hey, you want to run an Olympic distance triathlon with me next month? And no. But if they said yes, then I was stuck. After a friend agrees to train and compete with you, there's really no backing out unless you're just wuss. So the need to follow through and not let your friends down will pull you towards the goal of completing that Olympic distance triathlon or whatever it is. So you need to set goals that pull you forward and make it more painful to fail than it is to succeed. Dieting is no fun. As you know, I'm on like day 7 of a 10-day juice fast, but it makes it easy to quit and go back to eating junk food. So perhaps you make the goal to stick to your diet with a competition with a friend, to tell your accountability partner that if you cheat in your diet, you'll give them $100, or maybe you sign up for a full-on fitness, like physique competition. Find ways to motivate yourself to succeed. That way, on days when you just don't feel like it, you will have a more compelling reason to push through and continue making progress. Look, the bottom line is this. You know what you need to do to land your first deal this year. You know how to find the way around any obstacles that come in your path. You even know where to find the answer to any question that you don't have the answer to. Hint, it's Google. Yeah, Google. Now, you need to decide that you will buy the first property this year. Learn everything you can. Network relentlessly, and then take consistent, calculated action to achieve your goals. Don't let yourself down.